Hey, my name is Joe,
And I'm Mary Beth.
and this is the best of GenX.
We are in our 40s.
And we're siblings,
We'll talk about adulting in a world so different from the one we grew up in,
so excuse us while we save a generation.
one episode at a time.
Let's go.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mary Beth.
How are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you?
I'm great.
Great.
I'm excited for today.
You are?
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
first of all,
I know why.
I can't feel my lips
Tell the audience why you can't feel your lips.
because you forced me to drink a cocktail.
I did. Can we tell the audience what I forced you to drink?
I don't even know.
It's Woodford.
Woodford and some Diet
It's
Coke.
the perfect holiday mixture.
It warms my innards.
It's a great night for spirits, sir. of one sort or another.
That's right. I have to say,
It feels so good when it touches your lips. It feels so good when it touches your lips. Sorry.
she'll see it later, Clark. Her eyes are frozen. So I got to tell you, at this age, I never expected to be sore from gift wrapping.
That's what. So
Okay, so
explain your setup so I know how you can get sore from that.
I've had 2 nights, first of all, without sleep. Sometimes I get bouts of insomnia. I decided to wrap gifts because I was behind on that anyway. And when you have 2 little dogs, you don't want Christmas presents under the tree for too long, right? So I decided to wrap all the gifts, and we don't really have, like, our table isn't big enough to, like, do it there. And there isn't really a great place on the floor, especially with 2 little dogs running around and getting on the paper and the bags and the tissue. And so I was wrapping at basically the island in my kitchen. And so my heels are throbbing. My neck hurts from looking down. I have a stinging pain in my shoulders. My back is killing me, and my knees hurt. All from gift wrapping.
Well, number 1, you need to go see Andy.
Yes.
And number 2, you need to use those muscles more often.
I think so, Zach.
I think so, Zach.
What about you?
As far as rapping? Or,
No.
or being sore?
Being sore.
I've actually been kind of sore this week.
Yeah.
We've had, even though I've been off work, we've had basketball, and it's a lot of walking, standing. And my knee is trash, so I have been sore. I haven't really had to rap a lot because my lovely daughter, who's the best child in the universe, has offered to wrap the majority of the gifts that aren't hers. So the only ones I have the only ones that I have left to wrap are hers.
Now, what about your reflexes? They still pretty good?
Oh, I'm speed of a mongoose.
How
I
so?
got cat-like speed and reflexes.
You told me that you caught your phone with your feet.
Oh, okay. Listen, I got up this morning, and you know how when you get out of bed and you first turn to your side, or you're sitting upright to get out of your bed, so your feet
See,
are.
I can't do that. I have to get out laying face down.
Okay, well, everybody just needs to remember that I'm an elite level athlete still.
Right.
So I'm turning around sitting straight up, so my feet are close to the floor. My cell phone was in my bed. Apparently, I fell asleep with it in my bed. I usually put it on the nightstand. So I picked my phone up with my hand, and as I turn, the phone slips out of my hand.
Oh, dear.
But no worry. I caught the phone with my feet. And I couldn't wait to tell you that today.
That's exciting. Hey, I wish I had those reflexes.
Yeah, so I still have sleepers in my eyes, and
Yes.
the phone is literally in the middle of my feet. And the first thought I had was, I can't wait to tell Mary Beth this today. Okay, so do you appreciate that story?
I do.
I was so excited to tell you this. But Mary Beth, one of the things that I'm excited about today, which I'm sure you are as well, is this is a special time of year.
Yes.
We've discussed this at length. We've had a few episodes strictly for this special time of the year. But what makes today so special is we have a first-timer on our podcast, a special guest. I think you know this guest.
I know him well.
Not 100%. We have Josh, Mary Beth's loving, wonderful warden of a husband.
My boo.
Her boo. Welcome, Josh.
Or as I call him, my husband.
Thank you, everybody. It's so good to be here today on this
Yay!
glorious podcast.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Clink, clinks.
Clink, clinks.
Clinks,
Here we
everyone.
go. Here we go. Here,
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited because we've mentioned him several times in different contexts.
Yeah.
But now he is here to enjoy
The experience.
how the sausage is made.
Hey. I'm so glad to just finally be on the show where people can actually hear that I actually do exist. So it's a good thing.
You
Listen-
are real.
I'm real.
Listen, Josh, you might become famous because of this.
I do.
I just want you to
man.
be prepared.
Look, I don't even think I'm ready,
Hang on, let me give you
Joe.
a business card. I got an agent you might
Hey,
you might
man,
reach out to.
I need like hee-haw in my life.
He on Jockenberry.
He's
Yeah, I was gonna mention him down the road, but first, in our last episode, we asked if our listeners would share some of their most special holiday memories, stories, gifts, and so I put some feelers out on Facebook, and I wanted to share some of those responses. What were the favorite Christmas memories that you have growing up? Joe, would you like to start?
Yeah, let's start with Ray. So Ray told us that his favorite was the Lifesavers book in his stocking.
Dude, I
So it was
forgot.
a stocking stuffer.
I forgot those were a thing.
What, stockings? Oh, the Lifesavers?
The Lifesaver book.
Oh, I don't remember the book, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
remember
like
the book either.
You don't?
I don't.
Yeah, it was like you opened it like a book and had all these different flavored packs of Lifesavers.
Huh. I do not remember that.
Yeah, that's because we didn't do stockings.
We didn't.
We didn't have that kind of money.
We didn't.
We didn't come from that kind of
Yeah.
money.
The second was Jen.
That's actually our sister.
Right. Correct. Jen had a boombox in third grade, which I know you remember. I remember it.
I remember it.
Boomboxes
You
are
want to know
awesome.
why I remember that boombox?
Why?
Because it shocked the crap out of me. Eventually it got a short in the cord. And so we would have to when it connected to the back of the boombox and you had to kind of
Right.
mess with it after a while and it was a little frayed and a little jolt went up my arm.
Gotcha,
Probably
did it?
explains a lot.
What would
So yeah, I remember the boombox.
What would you have done if I would have said no when you asked me? Do you want to know what I remember about the boom? Like, what would you have done if I would have just been like, no?
I would have moved on.
Okay.
Because I'm polite that way.
Okay. All right. What do you got, Mary Beth?
Okay, so Holly got the Slippery When Wet cassette tape,
Classic.
which came out in,
classic
what was that,
album.
85, 86? 86.
So good.
That was that Bon Jovi?
It's Bon
Yes.
Jovi.
Yes.
And so the family taped a lip sync of the cousins and Holly, and this is my best friend's sister. They did a lip sync to "You Give Love a Bad Name." This was Christmas of
Solid.
'86, and I have
That's
seen
solid.
this video actually.
I just remember the hair. The hair was
That
fantastic
was
back then.
Hey, that was wicked.
It
Yeah.
was wicked.
Hair band mania.
Love it.
And then Andy says that Christmas in 1998, her dad built her a dollhouse for her Barbies, and he was, he is a very talented, very crafty, very handy man.
Salt of the earth.
Crafty
And,
craftsman.
Yeah, he is. And so I remember the dollhouse as well, and that was a big deal. But my favorite Christmas memory having to do with Andy, that I didn't actually get to experience firsthand, but I saw on videotape. I think we were in college. I was over at her house. She shows me this tape. Now, this was, if the internet were a thing when this tape happened,
been viral.
It would have been viral. So I guess at this point, it was more like America's Funniest Home Videos, like worthy. So Andy is in like this red onesie, like this red pajama onesie, and she's like a year old, like just barely walking. And I think she's holding some kind of like toy phone, and she's just kind of like bouncing and bouncing, just standing up. And then you see her head slowly kind of jerk back, and then jerk back some more, and then jerk all the way back, and she sneezes and does a forward roll.
That's awesome.
And it's the cutest, funniest thing ever.
And then she became like the best cheerleader that Silver Creek has ever
Exactly.
seen. The most athletic.
Yeah.
The best
So
everything.
It started when she sneezed.
Yeah.
It all started from a sneeze.
Yeah, just
Well,
like
I did my first forward roll when I was.
just like an effortless champion, like she
shocking.
always is. And then Susan, I thought this was great. Susan said that she loved riding through Graceland to see the lights, driving around town to see all the decorations. And I was
what
like,
you did back then.
We've talked about
I
that.
said,
one.
I know. We mentioned that on the show. Like, you didn't miss Graceland,
That's
the
awesome.
local church, where they had the live nativity.
It was beautiful.
And a whole, like, it was bumper to bumper, but you didn't care.
Right.
And so nobody missed that. So
That was a staple. Okay, I have one. My boy Damon, who
Yes.
is out on our daily group chat and a high school teammate of mine. Optimus Prime, when he was 6, was probably the highlight gift of his childhood, which I can respect.
I was going to say,
because I had Optimus
based on our
Prime.
conversations about this, I can understand
Yes, so I
how
got-
much that means.
Oh, it's Transformers, huge deal, big,
Huge.
big gift, huge.
Mm-hmm.
I had Optimus Prime. Jason had the the Castle of Grayskull.
See,
He still has his, he says.
Yeah,
which
and
I'm
That
a
is-
little jealous.
I had to tell him that we found your
Yeah,
stash.
Yeah, I don't like him now
I know,
because I can't find the castle.
The castles, yeah, you can't find, but you
but
found
that's
everything
worth
else.
the
Maybe he-
most money.
maybe
I
he
think.
stole
Like
mine.
if you research that, that's like what.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
worth
he
the
stole
most.
mine. Maybe his
He may
castle's my
have.
castle. Well,
Jason, you'll be receiving a call.
Yeah, we'll connect offline. You'll hear from my lawyer. And then Ronnie. So we all know Ronnie,
Reverend Ron.
Yeah, my kids call
Shout
him.
out.
My kids call him Uncle Ronnie. So Ronnie, it was the GI Joe 6-foot aircraft carrier. Was the envy of many.
Yeah, that
It
sounds like
was.
him.
Man, look,
It's
everybody
funny,
wanted
just-
that thing.
I can hear
Just
him telling that story.
Today, I saw a meme on Facebook where it had the picture of this aircraft, and it said, "Today marks the 39th anniversary of me not getting the GI Joe 6-foot aircraft carrier."
Nice. Yeah.
But Ronnie had it.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, Martina, she chimed in. She said, "I can't believe no one has mentioned their Cabbage Patch dolls. I wish I could remember their names, and I guess they weren't as loved as I thought, LOL." And I said, "Oh, no, we've talked about Cabbage
yeah.
Patch. That was a big deal. Definitely. We all had one, even my brother."
Excuse me. Just so
Hold on.
just so nobody forgets, it was the male brunette, curly hair with the football uniform. So he was a
Garbage
football.
pail kids, guys. Okay,
It was very manly.
garbage pail, not cabbage.
He was
garbage.
a roughneck football baby. Can we just get that straight?
Okay. Gwen said that she remembers getting a baby alive. She had a Snoopy radio that she could take with her on her bike. And of course, Atari, which is what we lived for.
Loved Atari.
Classic,
Pole
right?
position.
Pitfall,
Yes, sir.
Centipede,
Yes,
Frogger.
sir.
Combat, Pong.
Okay, and then to finish up, our man Joe, Andy's Joe, getting an electric football board that he still has and still works. Is this shocking to anyone?
I was going to say, I'm not
absolutely is not.
surprised.
A football board? I mean, does he think or talk about anything else ever?
Well-
Food,
Mr. Football
sometimes.
Man.
I mean, he's a
Food?
master
No, yeah,
chef,
yeah, he's a
right?
master
I mean,
chef.
like he
a
not only
master chef.
can get between the tackles and tackle anybody on the face of the planet.
I mean, he
but
was a football player himself.
He is.
Wait. Did he play at NC State?
Yeah, I think he did.
jokingly-
He's a Wolfpack.
I jokingly
What's
asked
up?
him that when I
Shout out
see
to the
And he
Wolfpack.
played for Louisville Fire.
He did play for. That's how we met him when he first played for them. Yeah, so I
But
don't.
it doesn't surprise me that he had an electric football board, and what really doesn't surprise
That
me
he
is that he
still
still
has
has
it,
it, and it still works.
Hey, man.
That is very Joe
Yeah,
John.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I was going to
Joe's
say his last name. Oops. That's very Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we're going to share one
Uh-oh.
of my favorite Christmas memories of all time.
Oh,
And that's why we have you on today, Josh.
Better
Yeah,
be yours,
see,
and
you
it
know.
better be yours too.
it is. Oh, it so is.
My favorite
1000%.
memory of Christmas, my whole life, was marrying you in my brother's living room on Christmas night of 2016.
I love this story.
It's a good story.
It doesn't get old, does it?
Not to me.
It doesn't me either. You know, it's such a feel-good story that you wish everybody could just experience it, right? Like for
Yeah,
us,
we've
for
had
me,
some pretty cocky conversations with each other.
Yeah.
Where we're just like, I feel so sorry for the rest of the world.
I do too.
We're pretty cocky.
We're there though. It's awesome that we get to experience that together.
Yeah.
with
You
each
guys
other.
got married at your brother's house.
I mean, who
What
does
kind of
that?
brother do you
Who
have?
does that?
That's amazing.
One Christmas,
That's
bro.
amazing.
Okay, so we have the kind of, I've got the kind of brother where you look at the house and you go, what does Kevin McAllister's dad do? It's like, what does your brother do?
I mean,
Okay, so
ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you really understand what how the transition of the house that we're currently in and how amazing and Christmassy it looks right now. I don't think I can really describe it.
we've described it in the past as a Hallmark movie setting,
ladies and gentlemen.
But your former house was also beautiful, and it had a staircase that you could look over the balcony, and it had a huge like bay window, and it had a very, very tall Christmas tree. I mean, it was that
Big bay window.
It was the perfect setting.
Yes,
but
it was.
I think
Well,
in order to appreciate the story,
we have to back way up.
yeah,
Okay,
we have
so
to
you guys
we have to ask ourselves, how did we get there?
Yeah. So I don't even want to know how you met like recently before you got married, like reconnected. I want to know like all the let's just unwrap. Let's go all the way back. Like,
Okay.
Let's unpack it.
Yeah,
Let's
where
unpack
does the
it.
story of Mary Beth and Josh really truly begin?
Okay. We met in kindergarten.
Yeah, Miss King's class.
Yeah,
This
we
is
were
an
in
awesome
kindergarten
story
together.
too, by the way.
Actually, the only thing I really remember about you in kindergarten was that you were the kid who got the eraser stuck up his nose.
Yeah, this is a fantastic story.
Oh man, so I get it now.
These are number 2 pencils, and there was a young man by the name of Drew who had 2 number 2 pencils and shoved them up his nose, turned and looked at everybody in the class and said, "Look, guys, I'm a walrus." I'm like, hey, I can do that. I've got you bested,
Anything
buddy.
you can do, I can do better.
I did. That was the moment.
Did you do better?
I did.
So much better.
So much better
You
that
caught
when
her
I
attention?
pulled both number 2 pencils out of my nose.
The erasers didn't come with it.
Well, one actually, it was the one in my right nostril. It did come out. It did release.
Yeah, you got to be careful of the right
But
nostril.
the one in the
I've
left
always read
nostril.
that.
Now, let me tell you something. That was a different story. Dr. Losi, principal, love him. Took about an hour and a half with him and the nurse trying to get tweezers to pull this eraser out of my schnoz.
Good Lord, what kind of cavity you got up that
Dude,
schnoz?
it was tight. It was kind of tight.
Good thing you had Dr. Dell.
And now they waited like an hour and a half to call my mom. Mom calls me, and she's like trying to talk me to relax me, and that didn't happen. It still wouldn't come out. She comes, picks me up, takes me to McDonald's. We get home, and it's like 3 hours, something like that. I don't know what it was.
Did you sneeze it out?
No, she finally got it with a pair of tweezers. Like I had to relax enough. I took a
I had to
nap.
relax.
It was awful, man.
I was all tense
I
up.
could not breathe out of my nostril.
You couldn't
and,
unclench.
I couldn't. That was it.
All right. Well, so you know how you reflect back on kindergarten, those early school days, and you have just sort of flashes, images. That's one of the images of the boy who got the eraser stuck up his nose and how distressed he was.
That's what sold her. I think that's the reason why. One of the reasons why I think
No.
she married me.
So,
Nope.
so we go through school, and we were friends.
Yeah.
And of course, we come from a very small town, small school. We were friends, but we weren't buddies.
like
we didn't
acquaintances.
we
Right.
didn't
Acquaintances.
run
Right.
with the same. We all went to. We were at the same birthday parties, the same school dances, but we didn't run with the same crowd.
No, that's
through
right.
junior high and high school. And in fact, in high school, you were the annoying guy who wore his backpack in front.
Oh, nothing's changed. I
Like
can
you
still
were
do
pregnant.
That too.
Like
But
instead of putting it on your back, you wore it in front, and then
did.
you would drum with
Yes.
pencils or your
I
hands.
do remember that.
I was
on
a
your
drummer.
backpack.
I was a
and
drummer, right?
you would sort of bounce. You sort of walked on your tiptoes, and all you would ever say is, like as loud as possible, for everyone in the hallway to hear, "Oh, ice,
almost ice
almost
on.
ice on."
Which are-
he conjugated verbs. That's it, and like
But it was Spanish verbs. I was trying to learn. Look, that was my way of learning, and I had to express myself in the hallway.
so everyone got a big hiccup.
Because every time the bell would ring, all you would hear was footsteps, and it would be so quiet you could hear a pin drop, and that's the only reason why I did it.
Yeah,
like people were just too quiet.
The
man. Like,
silence made you uncomfortable.
it made me incredibly uncomfortable.
I, on the other hand, was a very conscientious student and was always like, I'm a clean lines, straight and narrow kind of
4.0
kind of kid.
GPA.
4.2.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
See,
Waited.
her
Thanks.
husband is really kind of just lacking here. 4.2. Thank you.
So yeah, now, so in high school, fast forward to senior year,
Mm-hmm.
and we find ourselves in the same theater class.
Yes.
And our final in that class is to perform a play, a play in like our black box theater, like not the big auditorium.
It's our final grade, right?
And so I had a lead role in that play. It was Fools. Mm-hmm. And you were quite the fool because
I was. I still am.
Here we are, just like a day or two away from opening night.
I had a hard time
you still didn't have
remembering
your
my
lines.
lines. I didn't, dude.
Who's that guy?
He was that guy.
I was that guy.
And he had like a bit part. I mean, you were in several scenes, but you didn't have,
I didn't have a really broad role with it.
It wasn't an overwhelming amount of lines.
Did he improv the whole damn thing?
I pretty much did, Joe. Yeah.
No,
look, I got a passing grade. I still got passed. But look,
when the lights went up,
that struggle was real.
he was there, right? Like, he delivered. It's just the stress. And I thought, this idiot is going to just ruin.
Ladies and gentlemen,
everything.
I still make my wife panic like this on a daily basis. So just don't think that Fools was just where it
worried about
started.
her damn grade.
It is. She was like,
Well, no, it
so
wasn't.
help me God, if I get a 4.1,
Right.
I'm
It
going to
wasn't
have your
just
ass.
that. It was the fact that people were going to buy tickets to see the show, for God's sake. Anyway, it ended up going really well. And
Look at all that.
wow.
Sorry. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There's about 10 deer
Wow.
out near his.
Okay.
That was crazy.
That was pretty awesome.
Okay, so number 5 green has about 8 deer
Sorry.
running around it.
I miscounted
Interesting.
because I didn't see the others.
Santa's on his way.
Blitzen? Coming? Yeah, they're literally running on top of the green right now.
All I can see is dinner right now.
Good call, Mr. Master Hunter.
Another way that we're not alike. He's a country boy hunter, and I'm not much of an outdoors girl. Okay, so senior year also, this just is kind of a testament to how different we were.
Yes.
And I guess are in some ways,
We
but
still are. Yeah.
you ran for class president senior year.
Yeah, I
as
did
a
it.
joke.
I did. I didn't.
You
Was it a
weren't
joke, though?
serious. You
Hey,
were
man.
not serious.
Hey, look, it's no different than politics today. All I had to do was get votes.
But you weren't
And-
serious about it. But you were so popular and well liked. Like there was no one who didn't like Josh, right? And he wins. I ran for vice president because it looked good on college transcripts. So he and
I did it for the keggers, man. I
so
did it
he
for the
and
party,
I still
like the bonfires and
serve as our class
stuff. Hey,
Oh, I remember
president and
Here,
vice president.
raise a glass.
Raise a
I mean,
glass.
I remember
Yeah.
this. Here we go.
Mr. President.
And I remember everybody that wasn't a senior. We
Oh
were
my
all
God, I'm
like,
sleeping with the president.
yeah, we were all like, I remember everybody that wasn't a senior because I was a sophomore and you guys were seniors. I was like, wait a minute, Josh won the
I know,
class
man.
Yeah.
president?
I still can't believe I won.
Like, hey, no offense.
Yeah, and honestly, I really regret doing it because now we're in charge of reunions, which
I know,
kind of sucks.
which I hate.
Yeah,
Which
I hate that.
I mean, no offense for senior talent show. You did drum with a scream mask on.
I did. That was
Oh,
fun. It was
my
so
God.
fun.
But that
Yeah,
man.
dude,
you
that was
did.
so freaking rad, though.
I loved it. I loved that.
I was like, who is this cat?
Talent show was
Oh
so
yeah,
fun.
Josh is also a drummer.
Amazing.
Thank you, man. I try. It's been a minute.
Okay, so let's fast forward then.
Yes.
After high school, I think I saw you one time,
Man, I was a busy man.
and it was 2012.
Yeah.
A local church had like a Friday night
Ice
skate
skating
night
thing.
for
Yes,
the kids.
That's right. That's right, for the kids.
And I brought Mallory, and you were there with your wife and kids. And what's weird is that you and your wife hung out with my sister and her husband.
Yeah, Roy and I had coached baseball.
grew up together.
Yeah, we grew up together. Like, he was a childhood friend, like many, many moons ago.
And you guys would hang out all the time.
We did. We played basketball over his place, and
But I mean, your families
all
would
our
hang
family
out.
kind of lived close together too.
So
right?
when Jen was like, "Oh, you should bring Mallory," and so I was there. I just happened to see you with your kids and your wife, and it was just a quick, "Hey,
Run in. Hey,
good
how
to
you-
see you.
yeah,
How you
right.
doing?" You know.
Yeah.
But that was the extent of it.
Yes, it had been a long time since
How
we had.
how long at that point had you been single?
Oh, okay. That was 2012.
Yeah,
so
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. So I was single for about 10 years.
It's a long time.
That's a long time. And you, Josh, were basically married shortly after high school.
Yeah.
Married with a little baby, and you got a job, so you had to grow up really fast.
Yes, I did. And
you were married for
about 16 years, 17 years.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, got divorced. Mallory was only 9 months old when the proceedings started. And so that was like 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did not reconnect until 2015. So almost 10 years that I was single.
Yeah.
And I was like actively single.
Yeah.
What's funny is to truly appreciate how you and I ended up together, I've got to say that in the early years after my divorce, my mom and my brother-in-law, Roy, were the most relentless in getting me fixed up with people. In fact, I think my husband left me, and like less than a week later, my mom had created my profile on several different dating sites. And here's what's...
Thank you for helping me dodge that bullet.
That's bad? No, it's worse. She not only created profiles for me, but she communicated as me.
Oh, no.
Now, I can laugh about it now.
Sure. But
when mom comes to me and says, okay, now don't get mad.
It's always like a hold my beer moment.
I've seen that. I've witnessed that before.
And Roy was kind of the same way. Like, they were just kind of relentless about getting me. And I was just like, I
want to see you happy.
I have to say, it truly, mom pressed the issue so much for so long, and I just couldn't seem to convince her that it did not feel like a choice. Mm-hmm. She was like, you're choosing this life. And it's like, well, no, first of all, this life was chosen for me, and I can't just snap back like a rubber band and do this again with anyone. And I was a teacher, and I had Mallory, and I was not looking for anything with anybody. And that was 10 years of that.
Because you got to get to know the person. There's like emotional investment.
So much investment. Mm-hmm. So it kind of got dark. It got dark sometimes, but yeah, I wasn't interested in dating. But what's funny is that
I know you're
May of 2015.
Yeah,
I'm at a cookout at my sister's house, and I'm out there on the patio with Roy, and he's grilling hamburgers, and he goes, "Hey, Josh is getting divorced." Now
I'm laughing because not because he got divorced.
But listeners out there, if you knew
I can hear him saying that.
If you knew our darling Roy, you would really appreciate my imitation. I do it better than any of you.
She really does do it better than anybody.
That's pretty good.
But here's what he was saying to me. He goes, and I said, "Oh God, that's terrible." And because you guys had been together so long, and I didn't really know her. She was younger than us.
She's actually younger than me.
Yeah, and so, but I always liked you, and I just hated to hear that. And Roy goes, "You better get on that." And I said, "First of all, dude, can you let the ink dry on his divorce papers,
exactly.
Roy? Like before you start pimping them out?"
That's a big hard no.
And second, I don't date. And third, I'm like, it's Josh Allen.
I mean, of all
now,
the things...
we try to refrain from last names, but
I mean,
that's what I said.
Of all the things, yeah, she was just like, really?
I was
the drumstick front backpack guy?
Almost ice on?
I mean, I have a quick Josh story that I've not even shared.
I mean, right?
Can I hear it?
Yes, 100%. I was a sophomore. Josh was a senior. Well, you guys were seniors. I didn't have my license just yet.
Oh, this is a great
And I needed a ride home from some type of school event or something.
Oh, dear.
Awesome. And Josh, that little car you drove.
Was it the MR2?
Yes.
Yes.
So Josh had an old silver black kind of MR2. And if you know Josh, because we've already talked about the drumming, he very much appreciates music.
Like it didn't stop at the kit. It was like in the car.
Very much,
you were the hyper kid who like had muscles for no reason.
Right. You're like, does that dude work out? No, it's just genetics.
No, it's just genetics and the fact that he has the energy of a 3-year-old.
Never stopped moving, never stopped talking. But
during lunch, you wouldn't find him in the cafeteria. He was in the gym playing basketball.
Lunch league. He was a lunch league All-American.
Yes, thank you.
But nobody but you would think somebody that was like, don't take this the wrong way, like loud, talking, like you would think people would be like put off at that, but everybody just fucking loved Josh.
Everybody loved Josh.
Including me. And I didn't really know him a lot, but I knew
Yeah.
of him enough. And I was like, dude, I need a ride. Can you give me a ride? Because I just didn't have my I didn't
Sure,
get my
bro.
license until after Christmas. So
Hop
it was
in,
like
man.
it must have been in the fall. Josh gets me in his MR2 and takes me home to our old house. And he literally was playing the song My Name is Mud.
Oh my!
My name is Mud, and then it
I
had that
can't
little
do it
drum.
because like
it had that
I
little
can't drum on the table,
Yeah, it had
people,
that little
because it
drum
will
kick to
revert
that
back
song.
into this. But yeah, I was.
But he listened to that son of a bitch song so loud that I was like, I was like, in the next 2 miles, I'm
I'll
going to go
apologize
deaf.
to your ears
like I
today.
will never hear again properly.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It was so loud.
Yeah. So you all are probably, as Gen Xers, you're familiar with the Muppet character Animal. That's my husband.
That's
Closely
Josh.
resembled that as a kid.
He's Animal.
So literally within 2 to 3 miles, he was air drumming
Mm-hmm.
and singing that song, and he had it up as loud as he could
While
possibly
driving.
have it while I was in the passenger seat, and I'm literally like in a fetal position, going, "Oh God, I'm never going to hear it again." But I didn't want to like complain
I
because
was
I'm
just
getting a
glad I
ride.
didn't get pulled over by any cops, man. Right?
So-
you know, we all have cops.
That
names.
time.
You know what I'm saying? That time.
So Josh pulls around the cul-de-sac, and I'm about ready to get out of his car and go, "Thanks for the ride home."
He couldn't.
But like, but the music was already off, but I couldn't hear. Hey, Josh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I was still driving
And
off.
I get in the house, and Dad was like, "The hell was that?" Like he could hear it from the house. But yeah, I'll never forget that. But
Great.
thanks, hey man, thanks for the ride.
Great time. Hey, you're welcome,
Okay,
man.
so
great times.
So back to Roy.
Hey,
He goes, you better get on that.
like, what did he mean? Get on that?
Meaning I had to step in because this is what he
Okay,
said.
because that could have been said
Because
differently.
he goes, he ain't gonna be single long. Better get on that. He ain't gonna be
Better
single
get on
long.
that.
And I was like, I just kind of brushed it
How
off.
did you take that? How did
brushed
you,
it
how
off.
did you really take that, though?
because first of all, Roy knew better than to say that to me because
Hey.
I just didn't want to date anybody. But also I brushed it off because it was you, and there couldn't be two more polar opposite people.
I was
Always
just happy you liked me.
always
really.
liked you,
Right.
But I was like romantically,
And me, you too, right? Look, no, nobody
I
knew.
thought about it, and I was like, you've always been cute, but
As have you.
I never got the zazazoo, for you. So it was kind of ridiculous on multiple levels for me. However, this is where the story gets weird.
So nothing on the inside was going, "Hells yeah."
No.
Like on the inside.
No.
Okay. So that was all.
Yeah.
As you all can clearly see.
However, and this has never happened to me, over the next week or so, I felt like, and it's going to sound crazy, but it felt like I was following orders from some other divine power.
You know Roy's going to
Yeah,
think
you
that,
did.
You know Roy's going to think that's him. You know Roy's going to think that's him.
Well, funny, it ended up being him. No, what I mean is, as annoying as Mom and Roy were about setting me up in those early days, I did something completely out of character. Because I couldn't stop. Like, I started creeping on your Facebook.
As most people do.
And just
or did
looking
back
at
then, yeah.
pictures just because I hadn't seen you
Right,
since
right.
graduation. This
Right.
was like,
And
Trying to figure me out. I
difference.
get
mean,
it.
that's-
I get it.
I
difference.
mean, that's
We've-
like, what, 16 years at that point or
Yes.
something like
Yeah.
that? Or no, longer.
Probably longer,
So
yeah.
I was looking at your photos and just trying to see who is Josh today, you know?
Yeah.
And still cute. I thought, oh, he's still cute, but I'm not going to date him. I'm not going to date Josh Allen. No, but however, I couldn't stop thinking about reaching out to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. So here's what I did. I was over at my mom's. She was distracted. I took her phone. I texted Roy. So I'm texting Roy as Mom, as Terry. And I say, hey, you should tell Josh to give Mary Beth a call or
This is
send
where
her a
the plot
message on
thickens.
You
Facebook.
sly son of a bitch.
Or send her a
Plot
message on
thickens.
Facebook. No, here's it gets better. No, wait, there's more. So Roy gets back and he goes, hey, now this is his text. I tried that. I know she doesn't like it. I'm done trying to fix her up. She's not, I don't want her to get mad. And so as Mom, I text back and say, actually, I don't think she'll mind this time. Okay? I know.
It was at that moment,
here,
ladies and gentlemen, that she
listen.
won my
I
heart.
didn't know you were built like that.
I'm not. I was following orders
Okay.
from the universe.
from the universe.
Velvet robes
Because
parted.
there was this weird pull because as I'm doing this, I'm asking myself, why are you doing this? You don't want
That's
to
what
date
I was
him.
going to ask. Like, what prompted you to like think that? Okay, I'm going to entertain this.
Could
You were thinking about the possibilities. Like, what would
Yes.
a life with Josh Allen
But
be
at the
like?
same time, thinking not interested in this person romantically, but honestly, there was something pulling me to him. I wasn't interested, but I did it anyway. And so it felt very weird, it felt very uncomfortable, but like I said, I felt like I was following orders from some other power.
I think the uncomfort was probably just me. Could have been.
Maybe
Could have very well been.
Just give her some antacids.
Right? Just, hey, here's a Xanax. Here. Does
So-
this smell like chloroform?
But here's the best part about this. So when I, Terry, text Roy and say, I actually don't think she'll mind. You should tell him to send her a Facebook message. Less than 1 minute.
Shut your face.
Nope.
I did. I responded like immediately. I was like, man, wow, this may happen. Ooh. I was, and look,
What does
honestly,
that say about me?
I mean, I
I'm
kind of
just
just felt like I was like, oh my gosh, there's interest. There's interest here. I was just like, okay, yes. Here's where how do I?
I just
my
thought that was
thumbs.
funny.
I had thumbs that were too big to text. I couldn't.
So this is just me
He
bragging.
was digging what you were spitting.
Hey,
was digging.
less than 1 minute. I
That's
heard my
amazing.
Facebook Messenger go off.
That's amazing.
Okay, so
I've never heard that story. I love it.
Really?
Never.
Oh, yeah. I admitted it to Mom right away.
No,
but.
I never. I had just always heard the in general. We were classmates years ago, and then we just went on, then we
So
just went on a date.
so we Facebook, for like another week, and I just
And that was fun, I'm sure.
it was, but he has a very busy job. Like I couldn't wait to the end of the day to check Facebook to see if he had sent me another message. So that
that's
happened
cool.
for like another week,
Yep.
and then we ended up Memorial Day
Yep.
at my sister and Roy's house for
Like
another
one of the first
cookout.
holidays I had taken off in like a minute. I was like, man, yeah, I'm going to cookout.
So
I'm not even working.
So she tells you I'm going to be there. She tells me
Right.
you're going to be there. So this is the first time that we're face to face in like since we saw each other at the skating rink all those years ago. And we played cornhole,
Yeah.
right? And then we're in the kitchen and we're standing by the fridge. Again, this is going to sound weird. We're standing by the fridge and it's just like me, you, and Jen in like this little huddle, and you're telling a story, and there's people all around, conversations going on,
Right.
and you're telling this story to us and about moonshine.
Yeah, I was talking
I
about
don't
moonshine.
remember anything about what you were saying.
Yeah.
But
How it's
I remember locking eyes with you, just like looking at you.
I always thought it was about me talking about moonshine that made you like warm and fuzzy all over.
You're
but
not taking this seriously at
I
all,
am
are you?
taking this very seriously. Are you kidding me right now? Look at me
You're
when I
gonna make a
look at
joke
me.
out of everything.
I'm not. This was fantastic because I always thought it was the moonshine.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, it was you. And I was like, really? Because I couldn't believe that it was me. And
I couldn't either. That's my point.
right.
So
Like,
I locked eyes with you while you're telling the story, and I felt this warm trickle, like physically warm trickle from my head down to my feet. And I thought, it's him. That's him.
And look,
And I was done.
most guys, like, when they're in that moment, they're oblivious. Like, I was oblivious.
You were oblivious.
I was
Oh, I
completely
would
oblivious.
totally be.
And
But
I'm not
I was standing there.
thinking-
I was standing there thinking, this is who God
like
sent to me.
almost in the back of my mind, I'm going, I don't have a chance with this woman. Why am I trying? Why
Look
am I
at
trying?
you,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a
Nerd.
prayer's chance. And like here we are today talking
So a couple
about
days later, you were at your cousin's wedding.
Brad and Tiffany's.
I
That's right.
texted you. It was a school night. I had graduation rehearsal the next day.
Yes.
Had so much to do. I was doing the lineup, which was way more complicated than it should ever be.
I felt like I was intruding. Yeah.
I invited you. I was like,
I know.
I sent you a text that basically said, look, tomorrow I have to do this, 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 and this. Would you like to come over while I do those things?
Oh, I'm coming. I'm coming.
No,
I'm
that
on
was
the way.
my text.
Like
Would
I
you
was
like
on
to
the
come
way.
over while I do those things? because I just wanted to be around you.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And so May 31st, 2015 was our first date. We went nowhere. We stayed at my place, and I don't think you left until 4:30 in the morning.
If I left that soon, I don't
It was one of the greatest nights of my life.
That was good stuff.
We'll keep the details to ourselves.
Yeah, we kind of have
por
to
favor.
for trademark purposes.
for poor favor.
Let me just say about that night, and we'll move on. I would have married you that night, stone cold sober. I knew. And the next day I was so nervous.
I was too.
I was nervous because I knew, and I was afraid you didn't know.
Oh, I had to come back. I had to come back the next night, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let her like. I came back the next night and was like, nope. We're gonna extend this endeavor.
We're gonna extend this date.
We're gonna carry this on.
But I just remember the next day just being like shaky and scared and full of anxiety because I knew 100% this is him. He's mine. And I was worried that you weren't going to feel the same way. However, didn't take long.
That's right. It did take
I had you in my web.
Roy was right.
And if she has 6 or 7 things on her to-do list and she invites you over, if anybody knows Mary Beth, that's a supremely difficult thing to accomplish. Because if she has stuff to do,
ladies and gentlemen, though, look,
you just got to let her
she
do
could
it.
do 7 or 8 things and still
And she's
take
like
care of
that
anything
busy, and she's
that
like,
I ever needed.
And she's like, come hang while I do
Like,
that. That's,
right.
I just wanted you around me.
You're
I wanted
a rock
to be
star,
around
you know
you.
that?
And here's another cute thing. When we were playing cornhole at the cookout.
And you got her to play cornhole. I've not seen her play a sport in
like sports
since
ball
like
is what she calls. She
1989.
calls
Well,
it
here's the
sports
thing.
ball.
Yes.
So we're playing cornhole, and he called me Bet.
And that's something that was reserved for us.
Look, my dad, my aunt, and my sister, those 3 people called me Bet my whole life. Nobody else. What's funny is because he and his ex-wife had hung out with Roy and Jen so much, anytime Jen talked about me, she said Bet. And so when he's there at the cookout, that's what he calls me. And it sounded so weird coming out of his mouth. And Jen and I exchanged a quick glance at each other and just kind of
was mush, I bet.
and we just kind of giggled.
You were mush.
We giggled because it sounded strange. Now, when he calls me by my name, that feels weird. Like he only calls me Bet, and it's weird because that's only been.
Well, when you're in
family
trouble,
thing.
though, I do call you Mary Elizabeth Rose.
Right.
Like, because that happens so often.
So, yeah, I just thought that was cute. So that's why you call me Bet, because my sister always called me Bet.
That's right.
You hated playing cornhole, I can only imagine.
Oh no, it was
I didn't
the
mind.
low
I
thing.
didn't mind it so much
Well,
that day.
I didn't mind it so much. Yeah, I was going to say, because he was there playing it, you were cool with it.
But we
I
got
know
to
you
talk
hated
about
it.
too how the transition from that moment at Memorial Day to
Christmas.
Christmas.
Well,
And
it was a 1.5 year wait for me. Like I said, I would have married you that first night. You were the most precious soul I'd ever met.
and I don't want to like. I had cold feet. I'm like, I'm still trying to be in the moment. Going, okay, is this woman really? Does she really feel this way about me? Does she really think this way? I'm over here going,
you were a
jocking.
very broken, beaten down man.
I was a different cat.
You had no confidence at all.
I had zero.
You walked with your shoulders down,
Like-
slumped over. You walked around with a very defeated look about you,
I did.
and you had very little confidence. And
It was rebuilt and reborn.
Which is odd if you knew him, like we said in high school. He just seemed like the most
confident
person.
outgoing.
That's
Right.
tough.
It was a flip of the script, and
Yeah. So you didn't know how to take me
I
early
didn't.
on.
Oh my gosh, I didn't.
Like I remember when, like, I would kiss him, he would get nervous. He would like tense up.
I would. I'd be like,
Like, what the hell's the matter with you?
like
Affection? What is this?
what is this?
Well, like I kiss like I mean it, and
Oh,
so
she
he thought
does.
he thought every time I kissed him like that, which was just normal for me, that I wanted to have sex, and he
Like
was like,
it-
"Oh my god, I can't satisfy this woman."
Like, it
I was
was
like, "Oh my god, no!"
it was very
that's how
difficult for me to
bad.
kind of transpire, and keep the difference between. God, do I go again? Do I need like
No,
a pill?
that's how unfamiliar. I'm
Right.
just saying affection. That's how
Right.
unfamiliar you were with just good old fashioned kisses.
Josh, that's how us Ledbetters do affection,
Hey,
man.
man.
That's
Hey,
how
dude,
us Ledbetters do
I
affection.
found out real quick,
Hey, and we're all like that, just so you know.
and it was awesome.
But
Like,
that's just one of the many things that was fun and funny about
Yeah.
the early days of our relationship because you were scared of a lot of things for no reason.
I was.
Well, I mean, I understand why, but
Right.
like I have resting bitch face, right? So in the first several
that's
weeks,
debatable.
I'd have to say to you, I'm laughing on the inside. I'm not mad.
But I think she had to tell me, like, physically, hey,
Yeah,
it's
because
okay.
I don't outwardly emote,
Right.
those kind of. So I had to show you, like, I'm good, babe. Like, I'm good. I'm
Right.
happy,
Right.
Oh, that's a very sweet story. Bleh. No, I'm joking.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
teasing. I'm teasing. It's a very sweet story. It's the first time I've heard it.
All right. Well, how'd we end up? I waited very patiently for a year and a half.
Look,
It's kind of crazy how it
it
happened.
really kind of is. Like, that first couple of weeks, like, she had Mallory, and she was still in school teaching, and I was off a couple
Oh,
days
you're talking
there.
about like
The proposal? Are we
No.
there?
No. This is
He
before I
just-
started.
he just went
we were
back.
dating. We were
okay.
dating at the
Okay,
time.
okay.
And
we had kept like May 31st was our first date. We didn't go public. We made it Facebook official.
yeah, it was
Like we kept
The
it on the
kiss of
down low.
death. That's a kiss of death usually.
Right. We
But
didn't
we
go
waited a
public
long
until
time.
September.
Yeah,
And
but
we shocked the world, I think.
it went viral. I think it went
yeah,
viral.
it got like 600, 700 likes or something crazy.
But prior to, like, when she was still teaching,
I did, however, introduce him to Mallory pretty early on. I did not meet his kids for some time. So
yeah,
we kept it
waited
very
a little
private.
bit for my kids.
But Mallory, on the other hand,
She was
she was
like,
10 years old and very ready to welcome somebody into
Oh,
our
yeah.
lives.
I get that.
And so he decided to bring us Taco Bell
which that alone,
that should've won
scored
you over
like,
easily.
for lunch.
I got points on that one.
Yeah.
And
Like,
this
it
was
awesome.
like one of the last teacher day, so you have no students, whatever. So on his lunch break, he brings us Taco Bell. Mal's there in my classroom. She pulls up a desk next to his, and as they're eating, she pulls out a piece of paper and starts interviewing him.
It was like 25 questions or whatever. Like
Is that not my daughter?
That's a Mallory.
that's
thing
like
to
a
do.
Mallory thing. Like,
And so one of the last questions she asked was, "What are your intentions with my mom?"
10 years old.
oh
Only
my
she could
gosh!
think of that question.
I think she may or may not have gotten that question from her mother.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
honey,
No,
she
I'm
did it all
teasing
by
her.
herself.
She did. I'm just
My
jabbing.
kids at 10 would never even know to ask that question.
I'm jabbing now, but look, I love
the
the kid. She was ready, and like I answered the question. When I answered the question, I was like, man, I would have answered it differently with you.
You gave an answer that satisfied her.
Right.
Right. But then shortly after you left, this is funny because you have no game at all. But shortly after you left, he texted me and he said, I would have answered that last question differently. I said, how so? And you said, my intentions are to be the last man you ever date.
And that was it.
I was like,
Josh.
game.
was it.
Josh.
I know.
That was it.
Clink.
Clank the glasses.
Clink,
Thank
clink.
you.
That deserves.
Thank you.
Hey, you need.
I do.
So-
Hey, put it right
it
here,
right
right there.
So you have a lot more game than you might think.
Yeah, you take
I
that
quietly
back.
have game, but my game is only for you, my love.
What are your intentions with my mother? Well, I have this dungeon room.
There's
All right,
whips
all
and
right.
chains and
Okay.
handcuffs.
So we're
and-
at Christmas. No, we're at December 2016, and the bell rings for the kids to go on Christmas break. I walk back into my classroom, sit at my desk. I have an email. It's a job offer. Now, that July, I had interviewed for a totally different job in the private sector. I had been wanting to get out of teaching for some time, not because I didn't love teaching, because I absolutely loved it. If it were all about me and the kids and the classroom and the material, I would do it till I dropped dead. The administrative part and the national conversation about education did not mesh with my day-to-day reality. And I just was getting more and more tired of being treated like part of the problem when I was killing myself to be the solution. Yeah. And so anyway, I interviewed with this company in July. It was between me and another candidate who was like fresh out of college, entry level age.
Yeah.
And Matt, the man who was my supervisor ultimately, he called me and said, we thought you're a rock star. We love you. We really want to give you this job, but I can't in good conscience ask you to take such a significant pay cut, because it was basically cutting my salary in half. It would have been a huge lifestyle change, and it was a work from home position, so everything would have been different. So they hired the younger kid. And then here it is, December, the last day before Christmas break, I get an email from my now supervisor, Rebecca. She says, "Hey, Mary Beth, we've got another position open. We definitely wanted to come to you first and see if you were interested before we went to anyone else." And I said, yes. So basically, I went on Christmas break and I didn't go back. But
Cool part here.
When I went home to tell you about this, I was shaking. I was physically shaking.
I could see that you were in distress.
It was scary. And also because I taught for college credit, and I was only...
it was 16 years of your life.
I was only one of maybe 5 people in the state of Indiana who could teach what I taught for college credit.
You are a rock star.
So I didn't want to leave my principal in such a spot.
Sure.
So I was nervous about that. But most of all, I was nervous about, I knew financially we could handle it.
Sure.
It was going to be a struggle, but we could handle it. But most of all, I was nervous about losing my health insurance because Mallory was on my insurance. And so I called you. You weren't home from work yet. And I said, "Josh, I need you to talk to HR." Well, I guess this was the next day. I said, "Today, sometime, talk to HR. Companies are really progressive these days. I'm sure I'm sure they'll let you cover domestic spouse and child."
And one, yeah.
I was just kind of sure of it. I was like, "Just check." And so he called me later that afternoon and he said, "Great news. They said that that I could cover you. I could put you on my insurance, you and Mallory." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is it. This is it. This is happening. My life is going to change. Oh my God."
Yeah, it was.
What I didn't know is that you were lying to me.
I wouldn't do that. Or would I?
Why don't you finish?
Okay. I may have told a slight fib. I had already went to pick out the ring with your grandmother, God rest her soul, miss you, Doris, and your mom over to their jewelers over in Louisville, downtown Louisville. I had the ring picked out. Your mom approved. Your grandma approved. And little did she know, I had put an ornament on the tree, and it big fat faux diamond on the tree of this ornament. And I'm trying to get her to add 2 and 2 together. And
Wait,
you
clearly
she didn't.
You skipped the part where you lied to me. What did you lie to me about?
I don't.
Insurance.
Yes. I told him. I told you that I couldn't unless you were married. Or unless we were married.
You told me on the phone. Good news.
Good news. Yeah. Okay. We were covered.
Yeah. You said I can add you to my insurance. I was like, fantastic. You came home that night and proposed to me.
That's right.
Because I had to be married to you.
That's right.
So you did lie to me, but
I didn't tell
your plan was to propose to me on Christmas night, but because this happened, you proposed to me that night.
That's right.
And if I was going to accept that job and I needed insurance, it was like, why wait till spring? Why wait till summer?
Let's get her done.
Let's do it.
Let's get her done. I had full intentions of doing that anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know at this time.
I just didn't know how fast it was going to happen.
I didn't know at this time that there was already a ring in the safe downstairs. And I didn't know that he was lying to me about health insurance. So, outside looking in, it's like, what, you just got married for the health insurance? It's like, I have to keep reminding myself, he already had the ring. He already had the ring. He already had the ring. So, we had 3 business days before the holidays to make all of this happen. Because I first called Mom. We already had planned, our family went to your house on Christmas night anyway.
The hardest part was finding,
No, it was like, okay, how do we make this happen? Well, first, who's going to marry us?
Right.
So the first call after Mom
Reverend
was
Ron.
to Ronnie.
Reverend Ron. Thank you, Reverend Ron. Chevron.
Because for whatever reason, among the many things that he does, he's certified to do that.
Yeah.
So now...
And he's married a lot of our friends, too, by the way.
He was single, no kids. This is the kind of guy who can go wherever and do whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Who drops everything for Christmas?
What are the odds?
Right? What are the odds of doing that?
That he was free on Christmas
Thank
night.
you. Thank you.
Like even a guy like Ronnie, who comes and goes as he pleases through life, on Christmas night, you would still expect that guy to be busy.
Or with
No.
his family. You know what I'm saying? Friends, too. right?
So he agreed. I was like, oh my God, Ronnie, thank you so much. So we had someone to marry us, and we spent the next 3 days going to the courthouse, getting like our marriage license.
Yeah, man.
We had to go get a ring for you. My mom and grandma ordered a little cake from a bakery. We went to the Hobby Lobby and got little decorations, whatever. We didn't go all out, And then Mom and Mallory took me shopping to find a dress. And we made it happen in a matter of days. And so you proposed to me on December 20th.
That's right.
We were married on Christmas night, December 25th, 2016.
yourself
There's one more thing.
a merry little Christmas.
There's one more thing about this that makes it really special.
What's that?
Joe, you can probably guess why.
The Ronnie's.
Oh, that. But the timing of it. Getting married on Christmas night.
What outside of that? What?
It was special because
It was at my house.
our grandparents.
Well, that too.
Oh,
So
Your grandparents
Good call.
were
So grandma
it's
and
our
grandpa
anniversary.
Yes.
were married on Christmas night.
Anniversary. Yes.
Grandma was always,
Your house looked beautiful, by the way, Joe. It was
Thanks.
awesome.
yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
I wouldn't have had it any other way,
Yeah,
honestly.
no.
Everyone should get married exactly the way we did. It was amazing.
And
Because literally they had just us
Yeah.
and our kids
Mm-hmm.
and a huge sectional couch
and a big tree.
with our family. Like that huge couch.
The only thing that I would
Was
have
just our
changed is that
family.
I wish it would have snowed like a little bit.
Okay,
that's
all
my
right.
thing.
That's the
But-
only thing. That's
But
the
it
only
was-
but
it
it was
was-
awesome.
It was us, our
Right.
kids, Ronnie,
Yep.
my brother, my sister, their families,
Yep.
and the Johnson tribe.
Johnson
The
tribe.
Johnson tribe.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And Dad got to walk you down the steps.
My dad, I think he met me at the bottom of the staircase and
Yes, he
walked
met
me
you at the bottom.
Walked me over to the tree.
What'd you walk in with?
It was James Taylor. Have yourself a merry little
And
Christmas.
it was, dude. God, it was.
Yeah, it was
Because
so cool.
Dad loves James Taylor, and it's also in my favorite movie, The Holiday.
Yes, we'll get there.
No, but yeah. So Grandma and Grandpa were married on Christmas night. Grandma always thought that was so romantic. Grandpa passed away just
Couple
2 years before this happened, and he would have been so over the moon.
And
I think he, more than anyone, desperately wanted to see me happy and with a family again. And it just would have made him so happy.
What's
And
cool about that is that I remember him when Roy and I had coached for Little League and stuff too, when Seth and Garrett and everybody played. And, he was always there, and he was always talking about this and talking about that and, talking about the umps or the refs or this and any game. Like, I remember talking to him, like, before and after games about just how well the team did or how well that Roy and I did with coaching and this and that too, and give us tidbits of information on how to get better at this.
well,
and get
his
better at that.
family was everything.
Yeah.
And right, and you could
I'll
see
never
that in
forget
him. You could see that in him.
That morning, because it was going to be obviously Christmas with our family like always, but it was also a wedding. So we had, we packed bags with like pajamas to change into after the ceremony and all that kind of thing. So there was some preparations, and we had to write our wedding vows. Now my grandma called me that morning, and she was in tears. And she said, "I'm so happy for you. I couldn't be happier. Grandpa would be so happy. I'm just so thrilled that you're getting married on Christmas night like I did. It's the most romantic, night." And she said, "Those earrings of mine that you always loved and that always, like, she wore them almost every day, and they're just beautiful. And my grandma's got some killer jewelry that she passed down to us. I didn't care about any of it, but I loved those earrings." And she said, "I want to give those to you as a wedding gift." And so I got to wear those beautiful earrings on Christmas night while she sat there just inches away from me, sitting on the couch, just surrounded by the people who love us most.
And you were smoking hot too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
Easy.
But it was beautiful. And Joe, you were going to say something about Ronnie.
Oh,
That
Ronnie.
also made it special. There couldn't have been. There just couldn't have been a better person.
I really don't think there could have been.
To marry us.
Were you guys prepped for that? Because
I was not prepped for
because
it.
I wasn't either. So I'm sitting here like, emotional, thinking this is great. My sister's been single for 10 years, and this dude is just solid
It's
as
just
hell.
quiet and just
It was at my
us.
house. It was just amazing. So I'm
A lot
like,
of moving parts
It
that were
was
just
so
fit, right?
intimate.
So I want you guys to like the painting the picture was we were all just like it was like a legit like Hallmark movie moment, and then Ronnie gets up there in true Ronnie fashion, and he's starting to do his it wouldn't be the vows, right?
Well, it's like the intro to the ceremony.
Yeah,
yes.
like so he's doing his ceremonial ordained minister kind of speak. And
We're
he's
gathered here today.
Yeah, exactly. So he's doing the "We're gathered here today," and everybody's just like, wiping tears.
Yeah,
everything's real calm and like serene.
Right.
And then Ronnie gets about halfway through it, and we all finally realize that's the Huey Lewis "Power of Love" song.
Yeah, that's right. Don't take money. Don't take fame. Don't need no credit
he
cards
said
to
it-
ride this
the way
train.
he said it.
But Ronnie
It
is
just-
he's next level at just like being able to keep a straight face and just like say it so as a matter of fact.
He's a sphinx, man. You can't
Yeah.
get a read on this
But
guy.
he
Can you
started-
try to imitate him? See how? Yeah.
What
Yeah.
how he did it?
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today. How's the song go?
It don't take money.
It don't take money.
Don't
It
take
don't take
fame.
and then he would do the dramatic pause. It don't take fame.
Yes, he would
it
pause.
Don't
Don't
take
take no
credit
credit
card
card.
to ride this train. And then when he said that, his head would tilt and he would kind of look at everybody.
Yeah.
So he had the best like dramatic.
Totally serious.
Yeah, it was his best acting job.
He
of all
hit a home
time.
run.
And
with
we
that.
started laughing.
And that was the
Couldn't
best part.
help
Like
it.
I'm like, I tried to get a little emotional without showing it outwardly, and then he started saying that, so I started laughing. But then you guys started laughing, and so I'm like,
Like it broke the ice,
yeah, so
right?
it
Like
did, but I'm like,
set a tone.
I'm mixing like the tears and the laughter.
I
and I'm
was
like,
laughing through tears through our whole ceremony.
yeah, but you guys started belly laughing, and then I remember like vividly looking at you two laughing at each other, and I'm thinking, man, this shit works.
Reginald knew that, I think.
But,
Like,
yeah, I was
he
just like-
had that where it was like
That was the first because I don't really meddle. I'm not a meddler, but like I knew my sister was happy at that moment because I was watching her laugh with you,
Right.
And I was just like, that shit works, man.
Man, it was so
like something
good,
about
man.
those two, like that shit works. Like you could just tell.
and it gravitated the whole room, right? Like it
So funny.
it was so good.
He did it perfectly.
He really did.
He didn't speed through it, but
He took his time. He was
it
patient.
was short and sweet.
Yeah.
And it allowed us to just kind of be comfortable in that moment, just
Yeah.
absorb it and take it all in.
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
It was
Reginald,
just-
thank you,
it was
buddy.
just so
it was
special and so intimate on my favorite night of the year. And then
with my boo.
we forgot to mention that in the firestorm of these few days that we had to get everything ready, we didn't tell anybody. Now, I did announce that we were engaged on Facebook, but that was it, right? And so on Christmas night, I posted a picture on Facebook and I said, and it was, I was holding a bouquet. I was in a nice dress by a Christmas tree. We were kissing. And I said, from When Harry Met Sally, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. Merry Christmas from Mr. and Mrs. Allen. And
I was.
everybody was just like,
Mic drop.
what?
It was awesome. It was
Because
like,
we had just gotten engaged, and that
but
was
it's to
that was
that point where
big.
look, it's kind of cool to get the reactions of everybody else. But man, at that moment, it just didn't matter. I was so happy.
Oh, I
you
was
made me so happy. You still make me happy every day.
I was on top of the world. It's the best night of my life.
Do you guys need me to step away?
I mean, no, you're good, bro. You're good, bro.
you guys need a moment? Or?
We do probably need to take a break. But I'm glad we got to share that story.
I am too.
With the world.
With the whole
And we're going
world.
to talk about just how much of the world is picking up on this podcast when we get back from the break.
Yeah,
we're going
we
to talk
are.
about what kind of year we had and some goals we have for ourselves in 2025.
Let's add some sizzle, bro.
Okay, we're back. Now, let's talk about how did the best of Gen X do in 2024? We're going to share some fun stats with you.
Yeah, we are.
Hit me with it. Feed me.
We are in 6 continents.
Only 6?
All I have to say is
Isn't there only 7?
What's wrong with you, Antarctica?
I know.
Yeah.
Look.
Come on.
Kind of take a quick time out. I thought like a week ago it was 5. Did we add one? Are you
we did.
including? Okay,
We did.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Antarctica.
So we're just waiting on Antarctica.
Yeah.
I'm sure the scientists down there get bored.
That plus they have Wi-Fi that kind of it's shady down there. I don't know. It's probably the tip of the iceberg or
Losers
something.
down in Antarctica.
Right.
We're in 14 countries. Would you like to hear them?
I would.
Okay, so obviously U.S. Man, number 2 spot, Canada. Canada is on fire for this podcast, I'm telling you.
Canada likes us.
Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Quebec. So we're in U.S., Canada, Singapore, Nigeria, the U.K., Australia, Brazil, Indonesia, Romania, Ireland, Mexico, and the 3 latest, these are interesting, Iran, Japan, and Ukraine.
Oh, we're finally in Ukraine.
So I thought that was very cool.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
We're in 181 cities. I'm not going to name them all.
Why not?
Yeah, I wonder. In some of those countries, it's like, do you ever sit and think? At least I do. I'm a dork. But do you ever sit and just think, like, how does somebody stumble upon it?
Absolutely.
Because we don't really like market it other than
Like I want to
share
hear
it on
somebody
Facebook.
listen to
Facebook.
this like in Japanese. Like hearing you two in Japanese would be fantastic. I think.
Oh, well, I
Just to see what
don't
it'd be
think
like.
our voices are translated. I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
I'm sure people translate you
No.
in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but just
understand
like,
what you say
if you
unless
just-
they
but if you
translate
just-
in their language.
But if you just think about it, like somebody in Ukraine is just like chilling out, going, "All right, I'm gonna get on the podcast app, see what's going on."
hey, they got a cool intro.
Yeah, like,
Hey.
like, do you search
very
by that?
futuristic.
Like, I don't know. It's so crazy.
I don't know. I still think it's like one of our friends just traveling the world and listening to us as
It's
they go.
just one guy. It's just one guy.
Freaking Ronnie.
Yes, Ronnie.
I bet it is Ronnie.
He's like a special agent, probably.
Okay, our most downloaded episode is episode 5. It's kind of close between that one and
Can I guess which one that is?
our very first one.
Is that the midlife crisis?
No, that's actually Sorry We Missed Your Call, but not really.
Really?
That's
That's the most listened to?
Yes, that's our episode about cell phones when we just bitch on cell phones like the whole time.
Awesome.
Rightfully so.
Honestly, our most downloaded episodes, and I'm telling you, it's not even close, Joe. They're the serious ones. Advice to our younger selves, the cell phone. We talked about social media, midlife crisis. People still, I mean, we have high numbers for when we talk about movies and TV shows, music. We've done all that. We've had our fun, but it seems like the more serious topics, like the aging, aches and pains when we had Andy on, those are the ones that people really want to hear.
I'm just blessed enough to have the inside scoop because, like, once you get finished editing and I get the privilege,
You're
of
the
actually,
first one to listen.
Like, I get the drop, I get the lowdown. She's like, and she'll give me like this look, like, "Oh, was it good?" I'm like, "Honey, it's always good," but I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? I'm biased because I love you both. It's one of those where I get to hear it before anybody else gets to hear it in any continent, on
treat.
any country.
What a treat.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
what a life you live.
I feel important.
I just thought it was interesting that our most popular episodes are, topics.
Outside of the nostalgic stuff.
Right.
People, for whatever
aside
reason.
from
Which
being
is
biased
great
on-
because I think in 2025 we'll still talk about things that are fun and things that we love, and I definitely want more Hee Haw Jock and Berry in my life
Yes,
for
we need it.
2025.
We so need
But-
it in our
I'm
life.
texting right now.
But
Get him on retainer.
But, moving into 2025, I think we're going to have a lot more opportunity to talk more current events, more about what's going on in our lives, and definitely to have more guests on. And just cover what people want to hear, because apparently they want to hear more
Apparently,
about...
they care about our perspectives on
Yes.
these things.
Yeah, I
clearly.
can't imagine why. So let's see. Most of you are listening to us from your phone. 91% actually are listening from their phone. Our top platforms are Apple Podcasts, Facebook, our website, and Spotify. And speaking of Facebook, as of this morning, the Best of Gen X has a Facebook page. I encourage you to get on Facebook, look up our page, like, follow, and share. And we'll be dropping our episodes there every other week. This is cool, there are 121,167 active podcasts on Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is our hosting site. Our web page is thebestofgenx.buzzsprout.com. And of those 121 plus thousand active podcasts, we are in the top 50%.
See, that's cool.
So I think that's
real nice, Clark.
really good to hear. And finally, just let's take a quick look back. Favorite moments, favorite mistakes.
Oh, man. Hey, the list is long with this.
I am still haunted by the fact that I called Andrew Garfield Andrew Gardner.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's something to me because I know that movie so well.
I know.
He's my favorite character.
I know, but
when I was typing my notes, my fingers just typed the wrong word or the wrong last name. And then I can't believe that I said it a couple of times on air and didn't hear the mistake until I listened later. So I wish that we could afford to have it like real-time fact checker to like from the sound booth just say, that's wrong.
Okay, but he's not as well known as the person that I made a mistake on,
Okay.
which is completely unforgivable. I still struggle with it. I still shake about it. I'm not even worthy to do a podcast if I can't even do this correctly. But Mario Lopez, I am so sorry that I forgot AC Slater in the frickin' Saved by the Bell episode.
And he's the reason we did it.
That's
like,
reason we did it.
We were like, we love Saved by the Bell, and we both follow Mario Lopez, and we've both of us, he has liked our tweets.
Yeah.
In the past. And I thought, we're gonna tweet him this episode. He's gonna hear it.
Yeah, he'll never speak to us again. He hates us. He hates us forever because of me. Sorry.
And then let's see, The Office.
What did he say? Snack? The Office. I forgot Michael's. So it's always when I do a character overview,
A character
I have
breakdown.
no idea why. And Michael Scott, of all people,
He's the one you forgot.
He's the one I forgot. But in fairness, on that one, we had a whole separate segment dedicated to Michael Scott. So
right.
in my mind, I was like, okay, I got to cover everybody else. But yeah, I can't. Those are unforgivable moments.
Other than that, it's been perfect.
Other than that, I am excellent at everything I do.
Perfection.
But
Perfect.
the fun, I think the most fun I had was the Your Mama episode.
That
because
was
we had
so
mom and I feel like we
fun.
laughed the entire episode.
That was so much fun. Your mom insults at the end.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
it leveled me.
I love the fact that, I guess I get the privilege of listening to both of you, like, from before it gets released, but yet at the same time, it's also like, God, it's funny. It's a funny show. You guys have come a long way with it. It's hitting the ground running. It is overwhelmingly awesome to know people who have something like this that can get exposed as well as it has. And, thanks to the family and friends and everybody out there listening thank you for everything with this.
Yeah, well, for listening and for sharing it. And,
Sure.
And that's been...
Yeah, it is kind of cool to hear people say, I listened to it and I laughed at this. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I know.
Like, you don't think about it when you record it.
Well, because I think that maybe something that sets us apart from people who try to start a podcast is that you and I are we just happen to be recording ourselves while we have a conversation.
We would have these conversations anyway.
These conversations happen anyway. For some reason, people find our conversations amusing.
It is
Which I think is so bizarre and awesome.
Yeah, it needs to be studied. I think that I think the first moment where it was like it hit me that somebody was actually listening and like taking it in was when we went to Andy and Joe's house and their kids were doing the Your Mama jokes.
Oh my gosh, we showed up.
Oh wow, we showed up to their house and they're like, I got a Your Mama joke I can give you. Like I was like, oh, people listen.
They were quoting our intro.
Yeah, they were quoting our intro. I was like, wow,
this is the best of Gen X. I was like, no way. I'm gonna have to watch my language.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well how about we talk about how we did. Joe and Mary Beth, how did we do in 2024? Now, I remember our very first episode was on New Year's Eve. It released on January 1st, and we had some resolutions. Mm-hmm. Do you remember yours?
I remember a couple. It was I wanted to travel more, which I did a little bit. I still want to branch out farther than just like Florida.
Right.
I do travel for work, and we had the cool Matt Damon story, which was
Yes.
awesome. But
Highlight of 2024.
highlight of 2024. I'm Matt Damon. No, I'm joking. That's a reference to a movie. Anyway, I do want to travel more like outside of the U.S., and you and I have talked about that.
Yeah.
So my passport application will be started after the
Speaking
new year.
of,
What?
dude, I've given this as gifts in the past, like for Christmas to my
Trips?
husband.
A trip?
My husband, to my dad, and I think to my mom. But they always have these great Black Friday deals for Ancestry DNA.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had mine done. So I ordered a kit. I submitted my saliva because I want to find out here in a few weeks just what kind of foreign ragamuffins I come from.
Oh, just recently you did
I
it.
want to
Yes.
know. I'm very excited. And
I
I'm
was the one that
saying
got the mail.
the reason that I'm bringing
Oh,
that
wow.
up when you talk about traveling abroad, when I find out what kind of foreign stock I come from, we're going to go visit the homeland.
We're going to the motherland. Okay. No, I like it. I mean, that's what I want to do.
I want to meet my people.
That's what I want to do.
I want to get in touch with my heritage.
I want to have a passport. So
that will happen.
yeah. So I promise that will. I think here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to apply for one. And then acting, I mentioned acting, which probably threw a lot of people off. I used to do some of that stuff in high school, and people probably don't know that if they don't know me. If they met me after high school or college, they probably don't realize it about me. But I was like the athlete that did plays.
Mm-hmm.
I was Captain Von Trapp. We talked about that, which people were like, "You were?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just something I always kind of enjoyed and didn't really make a spectacle of it. But I was like, I'm at this point in my life where I want to maybe like kick the tires a little bit and
Do what you enjoy, man.
and I really haven't told anybody this, but I've had a couple like conversations and Zooms about some stuff, and I got to video myself and do some like read script kind of things. But I haven't really made a big deal about it yet, just because I'm just like kind of just kicking the tires.
Getting
with
your feet wet.
But it's been pretty neat, and
That's cool.
yeah, the feedback has been pretty positive. So we'll see what happens.
I'm excited to hear more in the future.
What about you?
Well, I remember being very excited to meet Jordan Peterson. It was everything I imagined, and I did talk a little
loved
bit
that
about
story, by the way.
yeah, where I shook his hand and then shook my husband's hand.
Yeah. I
was-
felt honored, my love.
I was just awestruck
good. It was a good
by him, and so anyway, okay. So we wanted to start a podcast. Check. I committed to flossing every day because, as you remember, I was 6 years in. And so here in a few days, I will have completed my 7th year of
amazing.
flossing every single
And I
day.
have to attest, ladies and gentlemen, that she does it every day. I witness this every day.
You have to have the most like the clean like spaces in between
She's
your
dedicated.
teeth. As anybody that's
100,000%.
You'd be amazed what you find. You should floss every day. And my dental checkups have been great.
shocking.
She's quick in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had another big one. My goal for 2024 was to read the Bible start to finish. I'm proud to say that I'm just days away from the end.
Yeah, she starts Revelations on the 25th.
On
which is
December
Christmas
31st,
Day,
I will
so
finish the Bible. And I can't believe I can say that.
That's pretty awesome. Like
That's a huge deal for me.
I've been like doing Bible study with you too, past couple times too, and it's
Well, I've always wanted to understand the Old Testament God and the New Testament God and how they are the same people. I wanted to see the whole picture, and so it was incredible. So I'm really proud to say that I've done that.
No, it's really cool. I haven't done that, but I either read or heard a podcast recently, and I can't remember where it was from, but somebody had, and I'm going to get this wrong, but it was something to the effect of, you can't call yourself intelligent until you've read the Bible once, or something like that.
there's a lot of validity to that. Yeah,
And I remember thinking that, calling bullshit because I haven't. I'm not- and I remember, and now that you say that you are going to, then finally you can consider yourself intelligent. So I'm excited for you to consider yourself.
I can,
yeah.
of course, I passed the test.
Hurrah!
I also
you
wanted
pass
to
that test a long time
memorize
ago, right?
one Bible verse a month, and I've done that.
Man,
So I've got 12. I might have like 13 or 14, but 12 that I wrote down.
good for you. I'm happy you did that.
It's been good for me, for my mental health, for my spiritual life, for my walk with God, and for my joy and my peace every single day. I'm so glad that I've made that part of my daily life. I also wanted to build my savings. I've done that. I wanted to read 5 books for fun. Now,
How many are you down to?
what I meant when I said that was just good old-fashioned fiction. It's been a while. Turns out I can't do it. No, so I did read about 7 books this year, but they were all like, there were some political ones, some more theological, self-help. I read a couple books on autism lately. And so fun for me is not fun for the average person, I guess.
No, it is clearly not.
I did have a goal to lose 30 pounds this year. I did not do that
Tell them why you didn't do that.
Yeah,
because I lost 60 pounds.
that's right.
And you feel
I feel amazing.
you feel light on
You
your
look
feet.
amazing.
I feel light on my feet. I
light
feel
as a
better.
feather. You feel svelte. You look svelte.
Thank you. I'm sort of drowning in my clothes because I don't go out much, so I can't justify like buying a lot of clothes. And I guess a year ago I had a come to Jesus moment with myself and got rid of all my smaller
Right.
stuff. So now I have nothing that fits. But that's a good problem to have.
Right.
60 pounds.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know how many I lost, but you and I both lost.
Yeah.
So we lost a bunch this year.
Looking svelte. And then finally, I wanted to start playing my guitar again. That's the only one I didn't do. So that one is first on my 2025.
Come on, Joan Baez.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's make a parody band again.
Yeah.
Right? We got to do that.
Josh and I are really good at coming up with parody songs, and we want to go on the road.
Hey,
Since he's a
we should.
drummer.
I was in a band.
We
Yeah.
I can join.
Absolutely.
Is this happening?
It's just,
Hey,
did we just form a band?
Oh my God.
New Year's resolution needs to happen.
How about this? One goal for the Best of Gen X podcast for 2025. Before the year ends, the 3 of us perform a song parody
This needs
on the
to
show.
happen. This needs to happen.
Like
This
for
needs
like
to
starting
happen.
after the new year? Like
No,
record-
like sometime in 2025 before the year
gotcha,
runs
gotcha,
out.
gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
dear
I thought you meant this year. I was like,
7
wait.
ounce, sweet baby Jesus.
Oh
let's
God, I
make
really
this
need to
happen.
pick up the guitar, man.
Josh,
You're gonna
we,
do it. I'm gonna make you do it because I live with you. This is happening. You
we
just
get
don't know
so
it
much
yet.
inspiration at the end of our episodes for some
I
reason.
know, we're like gonna conquer the
Yeah. Oh
world.
my gosh, are we doing this?
Let's see. I want to maintain my weight loss. I want to start playing the guitar. I want to learn more this year about investing
Yeah, you do.
and retirement. I want to educate myself because it's way overdue.
Okay.
And if you were to get on the internet and look up Gen X, one of the qualities that you'll see or the characteristics of our generation is to be really bad at the whole retirement planning
Yeah,
thing because
kind
we
of like
didn't
wait too long. And
we
it's
didn't
too late.
learn
kind
it.
of- Yeah. Yeah.
I
it
also
wasn't
wanna-
a point of emphasis for
yeah.
sure.
I also want to travel. And finally, I want to start yoga like Andy, our favorite physical therapist, told us in our episode about
Yes.
aging and aches and pains.
Yes.
I asked her point blank at the end of our interview, I said, what is the number one thing we could start doing today to improve our mobility long term? And she said, yoga, without hesitation.
We have the mats at home. There's no excuse. We need to just put our foot down
Not
and
gonna.
do it. Hey,
I know that my body could really use it.
we could use it. So
Anything else?
No, you remember like almost all of yours, but mine were the 2 big ones that I really cared about, or 3, whatever it was.
like I'm not good with resolutions either. Like I'm about 2 weeks in, and then I'm like, okay. But the one thing that I actually did for myself this past year was starting the carnivore diet.
But
But no, actually, that's pretty awesome.
Like I
could do that. I could
didn't
definitely
think
do
I
that.
could actually sustain this diet. And
Give
of
me
course,
all the
my
meats.
significant other was dead set against
give
it.
me all the meat.
Like, give me all the meats. Like I'm the Arby's commercial, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Like,
gross.
We have the meats, and it is fantastic.
now he can do this diet because he's a meat person.
I am.
It makes me, however, want to gag. So it's been weird this
You're
year.
a
Like
vegetarian.
we've,
Or might as well be.
I may as well be because I mean, I've always had an issue with meat, but because we have both been on different weight loss journeys this year, we've basically stopped cooking together and sitting down and eating at the same time. Like,
That's changed.
Just because
Yeah.
your all stuff is so specific, right?
Right.
course.
Well, mostly because I don't have an appetite and he only eats meat. So
Well, the good thing about that is too is that starting this diet was like I need to stop my snacking because like I could pound a bag of Doritos in like minutes and like or junk food, any kind of junk food, chips, candy, just things like that, you know. And I don't miss that portion of my life where I'm not snacking anymore. I eat twice a day, maybe 3 times if I'm hungry, and then I satiate. I eat to satiate. I don't eat because I'm hungry. Because she would always tell me all the time, like, you eat so many unnecessary calories. I'm like,
Yeah, like you're one of
feed
those.
me.
You're one of those. I will finish this plate.
This plate doesn't have a chance, is what I
Mallory's
said.
dinner that she didn't finish because I can't handle wasting food, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you want to consume
Well, because,
calories
I mean, as a
just
Gen
to avoid?
Xer, we grew
like
up
that's what
with-
the garbage is for.
But we grew up in Gen X, like, you know, waste not, want not. You know, those starving people in Africa need. I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting eaten.
Yeah, we did grow up in the clean your plate,
Oh, 100%.
Man, yeah.
Don't
Generation.
get up until you finish it.
right?
right.
And so you've carried that with you into adulthood. And I was like, I
did.
I get it. I get
did.
the sentiment, and I appreciate the sentiment. But at the same time, you can really consume way too many calories that you don't need
And
or
I
want.
did. I did.
But anyway, like the positive though is that we both lost a lot of weight this year, and
I went from 230 to 190. Well, 199 currently.
I feel like we've kind of recaptured our
we
early years, Josh.
we kind of
Listen.
did.
All three of us collectively have lost a lot.
We have.
I don't know how much I've lost. I don't weigh myself. But
It's not necessarily about the weight loss for me. Like I had like a lot of inflammation from my job and stuff too.
oh,
Where
yeah.
it kind of
Yeah, yours is very physically demanding.
Yeah.
ailments were just like a like I could throw a. I could sprain a toe. That's what it felt like, you know. Because after 40, you kind of
Yeah.
hit that plateau of like,
Well, you have to carry a ladder. You have to crawl in, crawl spaces and climb poles. And
sure, and that takes a toll a little bit. But you know, I think what really kind of surprised me with this diet is how much that has gone away with the lack of inflammation in my joints.
Okay, now we must say, people around the world listening to us,
Isn't that cool?
I know
In the world.
we are not medical professionals. Please
Absolutely
do not
not.
take our advice.
Yeah.
Speak
Full
for
disclosure.
yourself. Speak for yourself.
But it is if you do,
It's worked for you.
That's cool.
Let's just say that.
A buddy of mine at work was just like, "Hey, just give it a week, man. If you don't like it, go back to your old ways." And
That's cool.
I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a week." And sure enough, man, it's been downhill ever since.
So we're back
Thank
to
you, J-Mac.
getting busy like randy teenagers.
Let
Damn.
all these
know.
listeners know what goes
Well,
on.
mine was unintentional, but I will tell you, we were talking about calories. It's very, very true what they always, like the old school train of thought is, just consume less calories or, burn more calories than you consume, right?
Right.
That's absolutely true because, yeah, I do like watch breads and sugars a little bit, but like I literally just eat, I just count calories. You know what I mean? So
The
it's
cool
like,
part about it, though, is like I've completely tried to eliminate. I'm a label reading mofo now. Like there's nothing that I won't read at the grocery store before I put it.
well,
in
but
my
here's
body.
but here's my point. Number one, what's really helped is I don't eat past like 8 or 9 o'clock.
That's another
period
thing, too. Yeah.
The second thing is, I'll say my max based on my body type. I'm 6'1", whatever, 200, whatever. I won't eat, or I will only eat 10 to 1,200 calories a day. That's not a lot for my body type.
No, it's not.
And there's days where I'll only eat like 700 or 800. But like
That is not enough.
I know, but like I'll eat one meal and I'll feel like I'm good.
Yeah, right.
Now here's what's cool about it. I can go in my Debbie snack drawer if I've only had 800 calories. No, seriously, like I can go in my Debbie snack drawer and eat a 250 calorie Debbie snack because I've only had 800 and I'm still losing. So it's like,
Okay, officially, do not take our advice, people, please.
well, I'm just playing on the thought that we're not medical professionals, but it works. Whatever.
And I'm gonna tell you right now,
We're all
like,
doing
I've lost
3 different
4 inches.
We're all doing 3 different things,
Yeah.
and it's all working for us.
I've lost 4 inches in my waist. Thank you
but
very little.
my issue, I honestly didn't really eat that much. It's just I wasn't eating often. My metabolism had slowed. My cortisol was high. My A1C was high. I think I'm in perimenopause, so just losing weight just felt impossible. I felt like I gained 5 pounds just sniffing a chocolate chip cookie. So, and some family stress
Yeah.
led to a quick weight gain, but my relationship with food has totally changed, which is good. So
Sure.
going into 2025, I hope that all of us can maintain
Absolutely.
and even improve. And I'd love to have some people on to share with us how to improve our physical emotional, mental health, and our financial health as well. I look forward to what 2025 has in store for this
I
podcast.
just want to do the song thing. I don't know.
I am so ready for
Hey, I don't care
right
about
now.
hey, F that other stuff. I just
We
do the
have
song
so
stuff.
many
I
ideas.
don't know if we need trademark ideas for that. I mean, we got to send off for copyright.
We are gonna have to TM.
When's our first practice?
We are going to have the TM.
When's our first garage practice?
I mean, this has got to happen.
Josh, my boo,
Yes, my love.
I'm so glad we got to have you on.
I am so glad to have been on.
I'm proud to tell our story.
I am as well, and I just, hope everybody enjoyed that too. It's
I hope everybody out there, if they haven't already, finds someone like
what we have.
what we have. Yeah.
I hope it for everybody that experiences or get to experience it.
Josh, Mary Beth made me have you on our show today.
I know. Like I know how hard that was.
So I want to tell you, I'm glad you were here.
I don't know if
But
I
I
can
don't-
thank you enough.
Yeah.
man.
I don't know if it was
Like-
my idea necessarily.
There won't be a
I'm-
gift I can give you this Christmas season to
No,
show
honestly,
the appreciation.
You round out the family, and I've always respected you. And even in school, when I didn't really know you, but I knew who you were, I always respected you then. I thought you were funny. I'm glad you're with us. I'm glad I can call you my brother.
I treasure this family. It is.
Yeah, man.
It is one of those things where it is one of the most absolute greatest blessings in my life.
I know I
won't tell anybody.
I know
that
I
same
jokingly
thing.
called you a warden in a couple episodes, but
I get that.
You are a very cool cat. And
I get that from my boo. She's transferred me to a warden.
So,
Oh, go.
yeah, man. Glad to have you.
Yes. So
Glad
much
to be
fun.
here. It's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you so much for listening to another piece of the Gen X experience worth saving. Our favorite Christmas stories and our hopes for 2025 have now been immortalized in the annals of history. And so has the first full year of our podcast. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the Best of Gen X wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode in the next year. Joe, always a pleasure.
Duh.